Hey, I'm sorry.
Hold on. Case openings? Wait.
A ton of money from
is that
hold on, it's my closing
they
thought.
actually everyone's saying they ran out of 3 because they feel it's profitable.
Yo, what is up? And welcome back to the Catalyst Effect Podcast, episode 40, man. Holy shit. What is up, boys? As always, I'm joined by Missy and Hado. How are you guys doing today, man?
Fucking fantastic. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good. Got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. We're here for another Catalyst Effect. About to get in some good topics, baby. Missy's playing some World of Warcraft with niggas with dresses. Let's go.
Yeah, you already know, baby. Staying fresh. I got Dead Mizzy right here. This is what he looks like. You know, if I could zoom in on his face. Wow, you need to fix this fucking interface. I should be able to zoom in here. But yeah, Ms. Ribbity.
Yeah, we got some chats going on. What's up, chat?
Yo.
What up? I see JK already. I see Jackie. What is up, guys? Thank you for being here. Yeah, man. I mean, 3-4 hours of sleep sounds about right. I mean, we have Nyan Heroes season 3. Yeah. We have fucking Xdefiant is still doing his thing. We have World of Warcraft doing his thing. We have fucking I was playing Paravox just a little bit ago, and that game is super fun. So they're doing their thing, you know. So there's a lot of gaming happening right now. So you know, let's start with Nyan Heroes. How's everyone feeling about Nyan Heroes season?
Dude, Nyan Heroes actually got me to wake up early. I have been waking up early every single day because of Nyan Heroes.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So I set an alarm the first day to wake up at 8. I woke up at 9:30. So close, but no cigar. And then we got up and we were playing Nyan Heroes, and I've been grinding that game nonstop. Addis showed me the way, and right now I'm currently 7th on the leaderboard. And I know you niggas talking shit on the internet saying, is that open for anyone else? Well, I'm still number 7 in the world with all the other people that are playing the game early. So suck my dick.
Hey, cool, listen, man.
Sounds good.
Man. Sounds like you're taking it. Sounds like you're taking it very seriously over there. So that's really cool.
We are.
But let me ask you something. Do you guys think? So we know the arguments are going to reset when September 4th comes around, right? Like when it opens up to the public. Everything's gonna reset, right? Do you guys think that the leaderboard is also going to reset?
100%, absolutely. It definitely will, and I'm prepared for that. It's fine. I have bragging rights for the early players, okay, and not the rest of the community. And that was the whole point. That's the whole point. I'm not trying to say I'm the best in the world when it's open. I'm saying I'm best in the world early. Well, I'm not really best. I'm not 7th best, but whatever. But yeah, it's definitely gonna reset. I know that the augment's resetting, so it would make sense for the leaderboard to reset as well if it does.
Wow, you took fucking 2 minutes to say the leaderboard is going to reset. Holy shit, yes. Augments are going to reset.
You're too busy gaming, so I got to fill up the air somehow.
So, therefore, yes, it's all going to reset. It's all going to be very sad. It officially comes out September 4th. I can't fucking wait.
Mizzy always likes to rain on my parade, bro. You know, go play your nigga in the dress, bro.
I took 2 minutes just to say it was gonna reset. Yeah, listen, man. I think it's gonna reset as well. Well, let's talk about what everybody's been using this in season 3, right? Which is Blitz. I mean, I feel like everybody's been, all about this character. Missy fucking hates it, Missy's over there like, fuck this character, dude. But for the most part, I feel like everybody has really been enjoying playing as Blitz. I personally really like them. I think it fits well with my style of playing because I'm someone that likes to rush and I like to play aggressive, and I feel like Blitz kind of complements that very well with the his ability to like blitz around enemies and like kind of shock them, paralyzing them, and then you can kind of shoot them and get behind them and stuff like that. It's just really cool in my opinion. But Hado, what about you, man? How have you been feeling about Blitz?
Blitz is really overpowered, but I think he's overpowered, or I think it's a she actually. She's overpowered because all the other characters are underpowered. And what I mean by that is they kind of nerfed Spartan and Atlas a bit. And Seraph is fine. Nemesis is kind of like an acquired taste. I'll let Mizzy go into Nemesis more because he's been playing it more. But I think Blitz does have a little bit of too much crowd control. And the reason why she feels a little overpowered is because all the other characters don't have that like level of crowd control. And it's funny because Nemesis is supposed to be a crowd control character, and I would argue that it's not at all. What do you think, Mizzy? Was that enough time for you? Or was that too long?
Just a little too long pause, but you know,
whatever.
Nah, but Blitz, I like Blitz on the level of I think it's a cool character. I love the fantasy of the character. I like the way that it will eventually end up getting tuned to be a really solid character. Right now, though, it's just there's like no skill cap to win in certain situations, which is where I get irritated with the character. Like if you're Atlas or Spartan and you end up in a 1v1 against the Blitz, you're fucked. Like you don't have the movement to get away. You're gonna end up getting stunned, and then 2 shots to the head before you get out of the stun, and you're done. Ghost, in my opinion, has a beautiful counter against Blitz because of, he blinks around. Nemesis was based on the conversation that we had and what we heard, Nemesis was supposed to be a control character. Not the case at all. I actually gave, the team feedback on that, and I told them, like, mages are usually one of 2 things. They're either a glass cannon or they're a control character. Nemesis is neither. It feels very, like, the way that the class is designed, it feels useless. You don't feel like you're really contributing to the situation much from a utility perspective or anything like that. So for me, like, if I were to set up like a 4, 5, or 6 man comp, I wouldn't include Nemesis in any of them, which is where I feel like there's a flaw within that character. Like, outside of me being someone that likes to play mages, there's no reason I would pick Nemesis in like a 4, 5, or 6 man comp, to be honest.
How do you think they can make it? How do you think they can make it a little bit better, right? Because at the end of the day, right, like one thing that all the characters have in common in Nyan Heroes is that they all have a weapon to shoot, right?
Yep.
So this game is a combination of like being skilled with like weapons, right, and shooting and being able to shoot stray and stuff like that, right, to get like as much damage as possible. But it's also has to do with the ability of your character, right, and how useful is that ability. So for you, it's like the Nemesis ability is kind of useless, right? So
yep.
Because at the end of the day, you can still shoot your weapon, right, and get kills.
Exactly. Yeah. Like,
in your opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Like, so, I've been playing a lot of Super Vive, as you guys know, and Celeste in that game, she's not meant to get the number 1 kill. She's not meant to do the most damage. Her job is to help your team land kills, and I love that play style for a control character. Like, you're supposed to be there to help set your homies up so they get the kills. They can get all the glory on the leaderboards and all that shit. I don't really give a shit. I like winning. Like, when I play characters, I play to win. I don't play to, grind leaderboards or KD or anything like that. And when I play Celeste and Super Vive, I enjoy that experience a lot. I'm just landing everybody kills all game. I'm getting my assists up. That's what I do. And without that type of character on our team, like, you can't do any kind of high level ranking play at all.
Right.
Like, you need a control character. I would have loved to see Nemesis be more of that, specifically with the E button. Because right now, when you press the E button, for those of you that haven't played the game yet, the E button is the ability with Nemesis where you use like a spectral attack. And essentially, it's supposed to be like a spirit weapon that you throw at the target. And it's supposed to do a lot of damage, but it doesn't do enough damage, in my opinion, to make me want to stop using my gun. And then you have the teleport with the left control button, which you could say that the teleport could be useful because your whole team can use it. But in a game with movement like Nyan Heroes, it's not that big of a value add, in my opinion, because like most of my team can just run up on walls. My Ghost teammate doesn't really need my teleport at all. He can just teleport around. My Atlas teammate might need it every now and then. Like, the only person that meaningfully actually like benefits from the fucking teleport, in my opinion, is Nemesis herself and Spartan, because Spartan doesn't have much movement. So, but anyone that plays Ghost, anyone that plays Atlas, anyone that plays Seraph, they're not going to need any of that shit. So I just feel really useless playing Nemesis. I think if they tune the damage on the E button, I still don't think that fixes the flaw within Nemesis for me. I would much rather see Nemesis become someone that's like dedicated to helping people land kills or disrupting the other team, maybe debuffs, buffing my team, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think because I think the game already has so many heavy hitters. Like Ghost is already a really strong, aggressive pushing character. Blitz is already a really strong, aggressive pushing character. Spartan's a really strong, aggressive character. So it's like even if they were to buff the damage on the E button and make it hit like I don't know 5 times as hard, doesn't make that much of a difference for me. Like I want a character that feels different to play than the rest of them, and the only way to do that, in my opinion, is like adding crowd control to the E button or debuffs and buffs to the E button. So that way I impact the game in a different way. And it makes sense to pick a Nemesis instead of like, oh, I'm only picking Nemesis because they got buffed in damage and Spartan got nerfed. Like you don't want to ever have that because like then the character has no unique flavor of its own.
Yeah, and I want to talk about comps for a second because you say like Blitz is overpowered and stuff, but with the right comp, Blitz is kind of useless, honestly, because I've been locked down by different characters and ghosts that just kind of like dash away from my run mode, right? So there's a lot of things you can do to counter Blitz, but it's just like a lot of players are exploiting it kind of early because people don't know how to play against it.
Yeah, like what I love about Blitz, though, from a comp perspective is like, all right, you have that ability where you go immune and stun. Imagine lining that up with like a Spartan ult or a Nemesis ult. Right, like Nemesis has his AOE ult. Like that's the only time Nemesis feels useful when you're playing with the Blitz and Blitz lands all the stuns and you have your ult up. Then your homie puts up all the stuns. You put your ult up where the stuns are, and you slow them into your AOE attack, and they all die. Like that's the only time Nemesis genuinely feels rewarding to play for me. Blitz can set up people with kills and do more aggressive damage than Nemesis, so it's better in crowd control and in being like an aggro push, which is kind of defeats the whole purpose of like Nemesis. It's like give it one or the other, basically.
No, I definitely think Nemesis needs to be buffed.
Yeah, but I like how Blitz, no matter how much they want to nerf or buff him, as long as they don't screw up too much with the stunning ability, like he's gonna be good at setting people up with kills and doing unique shit across the battlefield that could set up Spartan players and things like that. Set up, some other Ghost players, all that type of shit. So it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that we haven't really talked about is Seraph. I still think this Seraph, if you have a good Seraph on your team, regardless of how good players are, it's really hard to kill them with Blitz or whoever because Seraph is just constantly healing and then doing the ult, and then you're trying to kill the Seraph, and everyone's like, all right, you're trying to kill my healer. All right, bet I'm going to kill you instead. Like, I can't stress enough. Like, the game is so different when you have because, by the way, when we're playing this playtest, the early playtest, some of the games haven't been full lobbies, so they've been kind of like 3v4s or like sometimes it's even like 6v2, which is like stupid. But as long as the team had a good healer, even as Blitz, I've had a hard time getting in and killing even the healers because like the healers will heal each other or the tank will come after me because I'm coming after the healer. So as long as you protect the healer, like it's really hard to win as Blitz. So again, the healer is like I think still the most important role in the game.
Yeah, and Seraph has like a really good blink ability where she like disappears. You get me? Like that can come really helpful if you're like in a situation where you're like really close quarter and like you're trying to heal your teammate gets taken out and you still want to survive so you can like like stay around, like just hit that blink. And like I've seen so many people escape like so many sticky situations, you get me, just by blinking, and like she disappears completely, you get me. It's not like Ghost where he leaves like a trace of where he's blinking towards to, you get me, so you can kind of like follow it. Like with Seraph, to me it's a lot more difficult to figure out where she's going after she like disappears.
Yeah, I want to speak on that real quick because sometimes you can follow Seraph. I was playing before we started this podcast, and there's like a little animation, like a little sparkle particle effect that you can like follow, but it's not consistent. And I've noticed that too with Blitz. Is like when you run through Blitz, sometimes the lightning bolt doesn't appear above the character's head, so you don't know if you stun them or not. And then I'll run out of the Blitz mode, right? And I see them. and they get stunned for like half a second. So I don't know if it's like maybe a lag issue or if it's just like a visual issue, but like sometimes they don't appear stunned or they don't look like they have the lightning bolt. So there's a little bit of inconsistency there, but some of the characters do have like hit or miss when it comes to the animation. And I don't know if it's based on like the ping too, because we've been pinging with like up to like 200 ping. So.
I definitely seen characters like get out of like the like stun animation from like Blitz. Because I did it myself, like where I was stunned by Blitz and I had Ghost and I pressed like the control ability to blink out of it, and it let me blink out while I was stunned. You get me? So like,
yeah,
I definitely seen
thing.
Which is like, you know, it kind of hurts the ability a little bit, because as soon as you're getting ready to shoot them while they're stunned, they kind of like disappear. Or like if it's Atlas, for example, I've seen Atlas like jump out of like being stunned, you get me, and he gets away or something like that. So little bugs that are gonna come with like the early access, of course. But
well,
do
you think that's a bug? Because I don't think that's a bug. I think that's by design, that you can like counter the stun. Because if you time it right, technically you're not on the field anymore. Because you can do that for like an ult, you can do that for anything in the game.
Well, to me, if you do that after you're like, so you know when you're like stunned and the character's like dizzy, right? If you're able to press an ability and get out of it while your character is doing that animation, I think that kind of defeats the purpose. To me, if you're stunned like that, you shouldn't be able to get out of that. Like, that's what I'm saying. I've seen characters while they're like spinning or whatever. Like, if it's in Atlas, I've seen them jump out of it. You get me? And they'll jump like super high, how Atlas does, you know?
So that could be one of two things. That could be like a bug, or that could be like a timing thing. So like maybe you're stunned for a couple seconds, and then as soon as you're not stunned, then you press the button to disappear. That's one thing. But I thought you were saying like as they're running around and you got the little lightning bolt above your head, if you time it right, you can get away as they're coming out of that mode. Yeah.
But even when you get away, when you have the little lightning bolt, because I've even gone like inside the spawn when I have the little lightning bolt on top, as soon as the Blitz stops like charging around, like it still shocks you wherever place you're on. You get me?
Yeah.
Even if you're inside, like even if you got away, you're still gonna get paralyzed for a little bit, you know?
Right.
But that's fine. But like if you're already paralyzed, I do think that that effect should last a little bit longer, and players should not be able to get away from that. You know, like Blitz already put in the work to get you to that point. Like,
yep.
It should be effective, if you get what I'm saying. So
yeah, I got you.
But I am excited to see the difference between now and like when September 4th comes around, because I do want to see how the game runs with like balanced teams. You get me? Because I personally like getting into a lot of lobbies during the early test where I'm like going against 2B6 or something like that, like you were saying, Hado, right? So it's like, dude, it's pretty difficult to win. You know, especially if you're playing like a game of like Payload, you know, it's like, fuck, like.
Do you think that they're going to do another like little hot fix for like all the things we're talking about right now? Or do you think they're just going to run it?
I think so.
Knowing Nyan, they very will, because they did that during season 2. They kept doing like little updates that wouldn't really take you down like your playtime, you know, like, so I can see them doing like little hot fixes for sure. Like that's what they usually do. They listen to the feedback and then they go from there. But yeah, man, season 3 has been pretty exciting. We actually got to host Rec from the Nyan account last week.
That was really cool.
And that was really fun. Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. I had a lot of fun. That was fun.
Yeah, shout out to the Nyan Heroes team for letting us do that. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was super fun. We had a shit ton of fun doing that. I will say Nyan Heroes is probably one of the toughest games to ever do, like while doing
Wrecked. Yeah.
I was so close to saying, like, bro, fuck the challenges. All I want to do is log in right now and like do good. You were doing horrible. Holy fuck.
It was really fucking difficult, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Did y'all ignore Damien for most of the stream?
No, we kept up with it, but it was like I was exhausted by the time we got off the stream.
Bro, yeah. Yeah, dude, it was rough.
That shit was fucking demanding. I was like, damn, dude. Like,
and you guys got the 1,300 views on X, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think now it's up to like 3,000, something like that. It's really cool, man. It was really fun to host it out of the Nyan account. There was a lot of people typing in both chats, you know, so like we were having a lot of fun talking to the community and stuff like that. But overall, it was really fun to play the game, man. Like, I also want them. I'm hoping that we get like a little hot fix where we're able to party up. Do you get
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, if we're able to
Yeah.
party up from the main menu, that's gonna be
I think
really.
out of all the things that we need fixed in this game, that is the most crucial thing because that hasn't worked since day one. And like I was able to get into some games like with ramen or whatever, but some people I just could not connect. No matter how many times we rebooted the game, we still could not connect.
yeah.
Yeah, I
They've
mean,
always had issues with like the lobby system. Hopefully they figure it out during this season.
hey, but we did get something that we didn't get in season 2, which is custom lobbies. And
Yep.
that's its own thing, which can be really cool, especially to dispute little things that you can do in 1v1s, like, or just like run like fun community game nights, like, and do like custom lobbies. Like,
Yeah.
I think, like season 3 definitely came with certain things that we did not experience in season 2. Having a new game mode is a huge thing because, again, there's a lot that goes into like level designs and like map designs, right? When you're adding a new game mode into a game, especially a
Mm.
game like Nyan, which has like a lot of movement that comes into play,
Yep.
right? So, like, when you're adding a game mode like Payload, if you think about it, in season 2, we did not have a single map in Nyan that would have worked for Payload. So they
Yep.
really had to like not only conceptualize like the game mode itself, right? Like how is it gonna work? Which luckily for them, they had like a lot of like, I would say, uh what's it called? Like influence. I don't even want to say influence, but like I guess like other designs to look at, right? Like they had like, for example, what's it called? TF2, right? Like that had Payload before. They
Yep.
had Overwatch, right, to look at. So like they had somewhat of an idea of what they wanted the Payload to look like, right? But at the end of the day, they had to come up with like a whole new map that worked for Payload. And the one
Yeah.
that they came up with, I think is pretty fun, dude. I think it plays pretty well. But what do you guys think about that? Because
Well, I absolutely love the map design itself. There's a lot of cool like signage on the wall that I actually mentioned on Twitter X that I really like that they have those attentions to detail because it makes it feel more immersive in the world. They have like a bunch of statues in the new map as well. But I think the new map overall is just like because I remember we got that teaser a long time ago on the Catalyst Effect. Or was it Boss Battle? Can't remember.
It was
I think it was
Catalyst
Catalyst.
Effect. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we got the teaser for it, and now that it's here, like the map is awesome. It's great. I really like the map because it has a lot of avenues of highs and lows, and I really like when maps do high and low type of elements. Because like if it was just a level playing field, it would be very easy to like predict where people are coming from. But like sometimes I'm getting shot from a roof, sometimes I'm getting shot on the ground, and sometimes I'm getting shot from both sides. So I like that the design has like high and low to it. What about you, Mizzy?
I like Atlas a lot on that mode. It's a lot of fun being a tank during the payload mode. So I mean, whenever I get the payload map on any other character, I'm kind of like, fuck, I wish I was on Atlas. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate or love the map. Like to me, it's just like I'm happy we have another game mode. It is like I can say that there's a part where once you get past the first checkpoint and you're going around the spire kind of thing, that always turns into some sort of a bloodbath, which is really fun for me.
yeah.
It's like you get past that first checkpoint, you go through the tunnel, you're coming out, and you got people that can fucking shoot you from, the upper side if you're the payload team on the upper left. Then once you make the turn, they can kind of come in from the north. So I mean, I enjoy how hectic that shit gets. As far as the payload mode itself, I don't find myself feeling like, and this is just, I think, more of a me thing. I don't think it's an IN. Like, I just don't, Nyan. I don't feel like, oh shit, like, let me get into payload or let me get into the other. I forget what the name of the other mode is, but I'm just like, I just want to fucking kill people. So as long the payload mode gives me plenty of opportunity to kill people, which is fun. So yeah.
I do think that the payload mode does need like a little bit more. I think you said it earlier, not earlier today, but like another day, Clouds, about the objective points. Like there's really it's kind of boring, like pushing the payload. It's more fun, like Mizzy's saying, killing everyone. If there was more incentive to like stay on objective, like maybe it gives like a boost to your ultimate, or I don't know.
Yeah. That was actually me. Yeah.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah. You're right. You know, completely forgot that point. I guess I smoked a little too much ganja yesterday. But, yeah, dude, with the payload mode, it's really what I love about X Defiant that I think Nyan could potentially take away from it, or they can tell me to go fuck myself. Either way, is I love how X Defiant rewards you for being a good player, right? In certain cases, like if you're doing objective, you get score points on the leaderboard. Like if you're the number one objective player, it doesn't matter how many kills some other people on your team get, you're number one on the leaderboard. And I love that type of gameplay because, you know, as much as I really do like getting kills, I like getting kills when I'm also focusing on objective. Which is why I like Atlas so much for that map, because I can push the payload with him and then punish people that want to come and actually fight me in the payload or buy the payload, however you may see, however you want to call it. But right now, my gameplay on objective does not reflect my standing in leaderboards at all. Like, I don't get extra points because I was the only one on my fucking team sitting on the payload the whole game. I don't get, you know, a thumbs up from the fucking announcer for like, look at that fucking payload go. Like, as lame as that sounds. Like, there's nothing that really makes you want to be a good player. Which to me, like, we've progressed to the point, in my opinion, with shooters, especially like hero-based shooters, where kills are amazing and I love getting kills, but if there's an objective mode, then like the best player is the person doing the objectives and getting kills.
Yeah, listen, man. In OBJ, anytime there's an OBJ in place, playing objective is the number one thing. You get me? You can get out. I'd rather have a dude going 4 and 20 on my team, but he play objective the whole time. You get me? Than some dude going 35 and 1 with 0 points on OBJ. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's because that defeats the purpose. The only way to win an OBJ like game mode is to play the objective. You get me? So like,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna have payload with B19, I agree. I agree with you guys, by the way. I think the payload should have more of an incentive, right? To like people that are actually pushing it. And I also feel like with Nyan in particular, it was kind of weird because to me, the spawn system, right? You know how you spawn in your home base? It didn't really feel like, usually with payload, there's like different spawn points, right? Like as the map progresses. And in Nyan, it always feels like you're starting from the same like point.
Yep.
You get
as a defender, like, as a defender you are, but as an offender, there are different points that you spawn.
They are. You get closer as your payload is getting like closer to the finish line, right? Like as an offender. But usually the defender happens to have like different spawn points too. You get me? You don't have to travel so far like in the beginning usually either, you know? Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Like,
I think the maps aren't big enough for what you're asking for.
Yeah, like I said, like maybe they're doing their own thing. I'm just speaking from my experience playing the game, all right? But I usually play more FPS style, like Call of Duty, you know, like XFI and like Missy was talking about earlier, right? So I don't know.
And the one thing I also want to mention about objective play on the game itself, I don't know if this is their design choice or not, but I think that if you're on the point, regardless of the time runs out, it shouldn't like end. And then like where they decide to pull it, sometimes it's like if you just get spawn camped and then I just have to push it to like 3 meters of like there was a game where we were spawn camping the entire enemy team, and it was an even number of teams, by the way. We were spawn camping them and we had to move like maybe 5 meters forward because that's how they moved. To me, that's just kind of like, I don't know. It just feels kind of like empty, where it's like, yeah, I won, but like, I know we destroyed them in the competition. They couldn't kill us, but it seems just kind of pointless for us to move it like 5 meters.
I mean, I feel like that's a classic mechanic for payload. What I do think too, like to your point though, what I have noticed is that on the defending team, when you get on the payload, I don't notice the car moving back fast enough. You get me? Or like sometimes it doesn't even.
It doesn't move at all.
Yeah, so like I feel in payload, if you're in the defending team, you should definitely like if you're standing on that car and no enemies are on it, it should definitely push it back. You get me? Like all the way to like the spawn point, right? So like if you got to the first spawn point, for example, right? And you started pushing and you didn't make it to the second one, and I get on it, it should push it back to that first spawn point. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
no, like that to me,
like in Overwatch, it doesn't push it that far, but it does push back, right? It does push it back a bit, especially if there's nobody on the point and you have like your entire team defending it on it. But yeah, I have not seen it move at all in the case of Nyan Heroes at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys remember when we used to play Magic Craft, right? They had payload on it, and like it would push the payload back if you were standing on it, right? It would push it back to the last spawn point that you achieve or whatever, you know. Like
I totally forgot they had payload. That's right.
Yeah. Like every payload that I've played has that mechanic where if you're standing on it, it's gonna either push it forward or it's gonna push it back depending on what team you're playing for. So I feel like that should definitely like, you know, be implemented in there because it does it's incentivizing the idea of like having to play the payload, right? Like you have to play the OBJ. So
I have one last critique with Nyan Heroes, and then that's pretty much my whole thing on it. So this game, fuck, I lost it. Fuck,
bro, how are you gonna lose your own?
Because you were talking, and I was like, all right. Let me know what it is. I was like ignore clouds, and then I was listening to your point, and I completely forgot it. Fuck, there's something else. If it comes back, I'll bring it up. Fuck it, I lost it.
All right. Well, let's move on here. In other news, though, Off the Grid was launched in PS5, by the way, which is pretty cool, man. You know, like to have a Web3 quote unquote Web3 game, be released on PS5. You know, I think that's pretty cool. But there was like 30K players playing it.
Yeah, 30K people played it on PS5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do they know it's a Web3 game?
Probably not.
I've heard that some of them don't. Yeah.
But so in that game, are you doing a lot of Web3 stuff like without knowing it then?
Pretty much from what I'm hearing, like from what I've seen, the marketplace is pretty active. Not everyone knows that the marketplace is Web3.
Oh, it's like behind the scenes Web3.
Yep.
That's how it all should have been.
So, you know, a lot of people are enjoying that, you know, that you can, when you're playing the game, you can, and no, I've not played the game, so I never signed the NDA, so haha, fuck you guys, I can talk about everything I want, but, yeah, from what I've heard, when you're playing the game, you know, and you extract, you get items and shit, obviously, like most, you know, Web3 extraction shooters. And once you extract the shit from the map, you can like trade it around in the marketplace. So people like you can like extract like item parts and actual like full items, all this other shit. So a lot of people have been like activating in that marketplace because things are still pretty early and rare, right? So yeah, it seems to have like a thriving little economy being built out of people that are like both mixed Web3, like knowing Web3 gamers and non-knowing Web3 gamers, because whether they like it or not, they're officially Web3 gamers.
Wait. So you're telling me that the game has an in-game marketplace?
Yeah, not in game the way that you always rant about, but it exists.
No, but it's a guns, right? It's a guns subnet. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. So like from the 30,000 players that were playing it, it generated approximately 400,000 transactions on the gun subnet. So, you know, it's definitely private, man. That's pretty cool.
That's a major W for the space, and they don't even know it.
Shout out to them. You know, I can't wait for like the game to be out, so that way we can play it. Because I'll be honest, the NDA thing, everyone keeps telling me get over it and play it. No, if I can't create content, I don't really give a shit. I don't care.
I feel
like
that.
I love games. I love playing games, but at this point in my life, I want to create content when I'm playing games. And
I mean, what's the point of having the NDA anymore when you're on PS5? Like,
yeah,
who gives a shit, dude? Like, allow people to make content. Like, I don't understand that. Like, the fact that you're not allowed to make content still. Like, what?
Yeah.
Mizzy, the same realization you had, I had the same one when I was watching all my Valorant clips over the years when Damien was telling me to fill the drive. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna suffer, we're suffering together on Twitch. I'm suffering on Valorant. So I ranked down, I ranked back up, I got an ace, and I posted that clip last night. So you're right. I'm not gonna play nothing unless I can't make content about it.
Yeah, man. Like
something that's interesting about Off the Grid though is that it has a 60-hour single player campaign, which is like I haven't seen a game do a campaign like heavily, at least not a shooter, you know, like offer that like to as well, like a full 60-hour single player campaign. Like I haven't seen that in a while. At least
that's crazy. That's like
Yeah.
That's almost 3 days worth of content.
That'll be crazy to go through. I think that's the mode that Doc was playing when he streamed it that one time. Because everybody kept saying he was streaming the PvE mode. So
that was the one where they were talking about the Twitch streamer, right?
yeah.
Genius.
Yep.
Genius play. All they gotta do is mimic the likeness of some streamers and people be in.
I agree. You know. So yeah, you know, I look forward to trying it out when we can create content and shit. I'm not playing this fucking popularity contest shit where
So what's stopping me? So what's stopping me from buying a PS5 and making content right now?
Because you have to sign up to the NDA thing. Like you're still NDA'd
on PS5.
PS5. Yeah, because you still have to sign up and enter forms and shit.
Oh, okay, it's like an early access type of thing.
Yep.
I thought they were fully out on PS5. That's
no.
They're playing a dangerous game, bro. That's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think console gamers give a fuck about that. You know what I mean?
All I'm saying is like NDA or not, I've seen plenty of gameplay. You know, it's just not on the timeline.
like there's people that have leaked games. There's people that have leaked games and they'll stream it and they'll get banned and they'll make a new account and stream it again. Like I don't think people care like that. You know what I mean? Especially if they don't show their face.
So for me, you know, we work really hard on our socials. I'm not getting my shit banned. I'll play off the grid when we can actually fucking play it like normal fucking human beings.
Yeah.
And create content around it.
Yeah, I've been kind of ignoring that whole news cycle because we don't have like the proper access to it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. But 30,000 players on PS5 is fucking impressive. And for them to have the open marketplace that they already have and people are actually actively trading on it and shit, also very fucking impressive. However, when they open that shit up, like it's almost like if you want to try to make money in off the grid, now's probably a great time because that shit is going to get saturated as fuck.
Yeah.
So, but we'll have to find that. That's a story for another time.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, speaking of like games coming out though, like you guys seen that Black Myth Wukong game thing that came out?
Yes.
Bad timing for that to come out.
I have a huge conspiracy theory around that shit.
Hold on. We got two things. You're saying bad timing, and Missy wants to talk about conspiracy theories.
Yes.
So
I want to hear Missy's conspiracy. Okay, fine.
Wait,
we have a global monkeypox thing.
Yeah. Hey, don't take my conspiracy. Do not take my conspiracy.
That's not your conspiracy, man. That's what's going on. They're saying that it's back. It came back. It was there originally in like I think 21 or 20, but now it's coming back all of a sudden.
Not be taking my conspiracy.
In the year of the dragon. Coincidence?
Listen, we got the monkeypox. We got Bill Gates releasing mosquitoes trying to kill
what
us all. What is going on?
What if they made the world sick and they were working on this sick ass game? And they're like, we're gonna take over the gaming economy with this one game, game. And guess what happened on Steam? The most played game ever, and it took over Power World, which was the most game played ever. Now Wukong, whatever, is the most played game ever.
Well, it sold 10 million copies in 10 days. Which is
so before Hado tried stealing my conspiracy, I will get it back.
I didn't steal shit. It's my own brain, my own thoughts. My opinions are my own.
I was saying this shit in Discord. Get out of here. I don't like the ground that you I am of the belief that there is really interesting timing with the Wukong thing and fucking monkeypox. I'm just saying, like, monkeypox, people are like almost threatening that we're gonna get another shutdown, and this game is just like popping off. I thought the game was gonna flop because of that shit, personally. Because like, who wants to play a monkey game when monkeypox is going viral in America? I was just like, I'm gonna get itchy playing this shit, bro. I'm good.
It's like checking his like wrist every 5 seconds.
Yo, I was like, yo, what if there's like a fucking like disease and I get through the fucking game? I don't know. I'm a paranoid person, guys.
Cyber pandemic, Klaus Schwab.
Yeah,
I got you.
It's gonna spread.
It's a cyber pandemic.
The cyber pandemic.
Yeah, fuck that guy. You do a great impersonation.
The frightening scenario.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, at some point, I think we need to like really sit down and put our tinfoil hats on and put like all the dots together. It's like, yo, all right, this happened on this day. The game came out on this day. Monkeypox started going viral on this day. It's all connected. I guarantee it's all connected some way, somehow. It's like,
or the romance, bro. You know?
Since when do monkey games even go viral? You get what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, the timing is just so fucking weird.
Man has never played Gorilla Tag in his life, bro.
But the Gorilla Tag didn't go viral. Like, number one game played viral.
No, bro. I mean, you know, I think it helped it, man. I think it helped it, if anything. You know,
I just want to point out that this is a Chinese studio that made it. Just saying.
Oh my god, even worse.
They're probably like, why are you worrying about monkeypox when you can be playing Wukong?
What if they want monkeypox to happen so everyone stays home and they have that meta where everyone has to stay home and play games again, and then monkeypox, and then Wukong goes even more viral and everyone's playing it. The only thing I will say about that game, if you have a 3090 rip, you have to get a better card. That game is like visually stunning. Like I've never. I think this and there was like a Doom. It was like a Doom game / I don't know. It was some hybrid game that was like Doom-like, and it was like a character that you could control. It was like some girl, and like the graphics were like crazy good. And I think it's the same studio or same engine at least. But I don't know, man. Like, China's been pumping out some really good looking games.
I don't know, man. I've heard this game has like the hardest like bosses out of all the games like this, you know, like old Soul-like games, you know. So
I mean, I think it's a contest at this point to like make the hardest game.
I usually don't play this style of games much, so like I don't know how to feel about this one, but it looks cool. It looks really nice, like the graphics and stuff. So
yeah, sir. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, I don't know, it's the most visually stunning monkeypox conspiracy theory ever.
It is a little interesting though. The timing on it, I gotta say.
I'm telling you, bro, I'm never gonna let it go. I'm never gonna let it go. I will find a way to connect all the dots.
I bet Joe Rogan's gonna talk about it, bro.
What made me laugh on the internet as I saw like Asmongold put his take on this game that was like better than Stellar Blade or whatever, and everyone's like asking why are we listening to this dude that because he showed like a picture of his sink. And I wish I never looked at that picture because it was like dishes and just dirt and gross. They're like, why are we listening to this guy? And then everyone's like talking about his WoW days and stuff. So, I mean,
what video did he? What did he say about it?
I mean, he's basically saying that this is like the best game ever made, and that if people say that Stellar Blade is not the best game from China, this one is, or something like that. Yeah, like he's just basically saying it's a really good game. People are just like saying like, why are we listening to this dude if he can't clean his fucking kitchen?
And that's the type of people that spread monkeypox, man. I'm just saying.
I think it was Shroud. I think it was Shroud that was saying that if it doesn't get Game of the Year, it's like Rig or some shit like that.
Damn, isn't that fucking good?
I mean,
dude, the opening sequence is crazy. Have you seen that?
But then also Shroud is saying that Deadlock is gonna take over the world. You get me? So I have no idea what to trust anymore.
Can I make a quick hot take on Deadlock? I don't feel like the art style at all. I'm not feeling it.
Bro,
I think it's dated.
Deadlock was confusing as shit.
Deadlock's art style for me is so dated. I don't like it, dude. It's not for
When
me.
you look at the mini map in Deadlock, it feels like you're looking at like a fucking subway transit like map. I mean, it's like, what the fuck do I do? There's just like colorful lines everywhere.
Is this a game that's trying to be like a Valorant?
It's the game, no, it's the game that's trying to be like Dota and like
okay, so this is the
Overwatch
the
or some
MOBA.
shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like an Overwatch clone.
It's like an Overwatch with Dota mechanics in it. It's weird.
Got it.
Yeah, because everyone's trying to be Overwatch these days. I mean, they made like Marvel Rivals and stuff. So
What I love is everyone was like Overwatch is dead, but everyone's cloning it. I don't get it.
well, it's the same thing with like CS. I mean, everyone said CS was dead, and then they made their own version of CS. Like they just want to make their own version of it.
Yeah. Oh, shout out Overwatch, man.
Like you could say the same thing. People are saying WoW is dead, and WoW has a huge player base, but everyone's trying to make a new version of WoW.
By the way, speaking of,
no, I'm doing the question stuff. Because the expansion came out, so I have to level all the way up to 80 now. So this is the boring side of WoW, unfortunately, but it has to be done. I hate leveling. It makes me sick to my stomach. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know, man. I think the only Overwatch clone that I've genuinely enjoyed so far is Nyan Heroes, and it's not a clone, obviously. Like it has its own mechanics.
Yeah,
but you can say Overwatch inspired gameplay. Yeah,
for sure.
I can compare that just with the movement alone. Nyan is just on its own, bro, because it's such a special type of movement. Like the only movement that I can compare it to is like Titanfall. Like it's more similar to me to Titanfall than it is to Overwatch. You know, like like the maps and like the weapons and stuff are similar to Overwatch, but the way the game feels to me feels more like Titanfall. But yeah, man, pretty cool stuff with off the grid and all that type of stuff, and Wukong. On other news though, Dimensionals. Do you guys hear about Dimensionals?
Fuck Dimensionals, fuck Sasha. Fuck Mob Deep.
I loved Mizzy's post on that.
Bro, I mean, listen, I honestly, I'm super neutral about this because I could give two shits, to be honest with you. Like, I could care less that they went to Web 2 from Web 3 because to me, that game had like one of the most boring game loops that I've ever tried. But you know, that's just me. I don't know why people are freaking out about it. I mean, other than the fact that some people lost money, obviously, I guess, you know, so. You know.
For those of you who don't know about Dimensionals, it's basically a card roguelite game. That's pretty much it, with some loose story. And honestly, zero voice acting. Characters are saying some weird shit. Like, bro, I remember the character said some weird sus shit, bro.
The dialogue was fucking crazy, bro. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Freaky ass nigga, he has 69 God. That's what they were talking some like. Yo.
Oh,
well, anyways, they decided to leave the Web3 space and move towards the Web2 space and see if they're successful there. I just don't understand the move. I don't understand the move.
Listen, man.
Like, I don't see traditional gamers accepting that type of like experience very well, you know. But I could be wrong.
You guys know how I felt about. We all felt the same way about the game. And I'm not using this to shit on anyone that was bullish on the game because a lot of people did like the game. But you know, for those of you here, there was once a time where we did a Catalyst tier list, and unfortunately, the video actually got the file got encrypted, so we never got to release it. But Dimensionals was my pick for most overrated game in Web3 about a year ago. This was like when we first started Catalyst. And I mean, I didn't enjoy the gameplay. Doesn't mean it was a bad game. I just personally don't like that type of game or the way that they executed on it. But so I'm not like devastated from a player. I didn't invest into any of that shit. Couldn't be bothered. But it's a principle thing. Like Sasha was this founder that a lot of people were bullish on. A lot of people supported. A lot of people were happy to see, you know, they wanted to see him win. They put him on shows like Sam, for example, from, you know, Wolves. Sam Stefanina had him on Gamified a lot. And, you know, I felt horrible for Sam because Sam's a really chill guy. Like, he's not someone that is going to be super gatekeepy or whatever, but he still does his due diligence. And for someone like Sam to, go out on a limb and have someone like that on their show constantly, support their game, be a fan of the game, just to get backstabbed like that, to me was pretty fucked up. And that happened to a lot of people in our space, other developers. Like, you had people like Sinjin who were really cool with this kind of guy, giving him advice, sharing thoughts with each other and things like that. And he just rugged like all those people, not just obviously the player base as well, the people that invested into the assets that were buying dimensionals for half an ETH to an ETH in price when they were on secondary. But like also like other builders in the space were rugged, which is really fucking lame. It was never for me, so I personally wasn't impacted. But the reason I came out and said something was because I'm looking at the fucking comment section. And you guys know me. I don't give a fuck when it comes to, like, if people think I'm an asshole, they think I'm a fucking asshole. But I'm going to say how it is and how I see it, my perspective. And you have all these people in the fucking comment section. Some of them are my friends, people that we're all cool with. They're like, oh, it was brave of you to come out and say this, or, much respect. Like, fuck that shit. Fuck him. Fuck his fucking company. I hope the shit goes to fucking zero in Web 2. I'm personally going to be putting on a fucking campaign to fucking shit all over the game in every review I can see it, and, like, fucking hit up people to go shit on it, too. Tell them that he's a fucking scammer, because he fucking is. Because he rugged the game. It's not like he rugged the Web 3 side of it. It's not like he failed. And they were like, oh, sorry, guys, we tried our best. Game shut down. Like, no, this motherfucker just said, fuck Web3. Let's rug all of you. Like, that's some scammer shit. And that's fucked up. After he made the community a bunch of promises about returning money, doing this, doing that. So this guy had, like, a god complex. He went on a bunch of fucking vacations. Every time somebody was talking to him on some show, he was in some exotic fucking location. So it's like, bro, honestly, fuck you. Fuck your game. I hope it goes to shit in Web 2. And yeah, like, he doesn't deserve any apologies. He doesn't deserve any respect. Fuck that shit. You're a pussy. You couldn't figure it out. And instead of manning up and having to figure it out, you ran away like a little bitch.
Mizzy, let me ask you a question on this topic real quick. Do you think that we should vouch for our politicians to have regulations to protect people from this kind of stuff? Or should we just kind of warn the space and be like, anytime that you invest money in this space, even in gaming, it could go to zero? Because I think it could be one of two things, the outcomes. It's like people that do this kind of shit makes a horrible name for the industry in general, and it makes the government actors act and be like, you know what, you guys aren't responsible to take care of your own, we'll do it for you, and then we get the short end of the stick.
I mean, we all know, like, regulations are going to come at some point. In my opinion, they're going to end up over-regulating, and it's going to make everything boring and sucky. But assholes like this basically don't give us a fucking choice, right? Like, we can self-regulate. I personally, like, it made me believe more in my original thesis of where is the Web3 and everything that these people do. Like, how serious are you about Web3? What Web3 questions do we need to be asking? Because Sasha gave all the right gameplay answers. He was a gameplay center dev. He had a past history of being, a successful developer. His team, he had successful people on his team. Where he always kind of seemed wishy-washy was how Web3 are you going to get? He did explain how the Web3 economy was going to work, but he did in many cases be like, we don't need the Web3 audience. We don't need this. We don't need that. So it's like, bro, now if you come in with that superiority complex as a Web2 developer, I'm going to check you with that shit, because that's how Sasha was, and we got rugged because of that. So, I mean, I think we have to educate people on, like, what does a Web3 economy look like? What does, what could it look like? Or what do we want to see from some of these teams as far as commitment or plans, things of that nature, like even maybe legal structure. Like, I think something that we could add to Boss Battle is asking teams, like, how are you incorporated? Like, where are you incorporated? What are you going to do? Because, Boss Battle is the only show in all of Web3 gaming that could potentially help with this. Because if we had gotten someone like Sasha onto Boss Battle, we could have pressed him a little more on the Web3 side of things and, kind of like made him reveal himself in certain ways. Like, for example, I'm not going to name the game, but I decided to start playing around with ChatGPT recently. And I started asking it, like, build me Web3 economies. Because you guys know I'm doing like a what if series on Web2 games. Like, what if League of Legends was a Web3 game? And I had it like show me a bunch of examples on how it could build a League of Legends economy. When you do that for the first time and you enter the prompt into ChatGPT, it usually gives you like a blanket statement of about 5 to 10 really basic answers. One of them being create an AI fantasy league on top of your game. So if you guys know which game that we've spoken to that wants to do that, like it's like one of the first 3 results that you get from ChatGPT, right? So it's like, obviously that's possible that you can do something like that with your game, but we actually have to go and to even protect ourselves further and protect the community further, go and like enter prompts into ChatGPT for like basic game thing loops that people come up with and basic like economy structures that people come up with to see who's actually putting thought into their economies and who's trying to grift it. Who's putting thought into their gameplay and who's trying to grift it.
Yeah.
But it made me very bearish, long-winded rant, I'm sorry, but it made me like really hesitant to embrace anyone that isn't like, that you can't tell that their heart is into the Web3 side of it. Like if there's even like a shred of doubt, I'm instantly bearish now.
Yeah, the reason why I asked the question is because we don't really have like a coalition or a committee or a trust or whatever you want to call it that kind of like verifies and fact checks all these things. We kind of just take people's word for it most of the time, and people take their word for it with their dollars, and that's very, very, risky. So I'm just thinking like, I mean, I've always been like not wanting to be gatekeepy, but like after the shit that I've seen in this space, I think gatekeeping is the only way to go, to a certain degree, because, if we're gatekeeping to like make sure that people aren't getting harmed, right? Now we have some kind of coalition or a committee or trust or whatever, maybe self-appointed, maybe community appointed, who knows how that goes. But I think that's something that is really lacking in a lot of like infrastructure for Web3 in general, not just the gaming side. And if we have these committees, then we can talk to these like lobbyists or whatever, politician types, and kind of get like a better understanding of what we're trying to build here and like what the bad actors are doing. Cause then everyone's just like kind of like putting on a blindfold and throwing dart to the dartboard and say, let's go after these folks. Let's go after these folks. And that's how you get to where we are in crypto and Web3. So if we have people that are standing up and saying, this is absolutely wrong, don't do this type shit, then we would have a way better community and way better trust from the community as a whole. Not just for Catalyst, by the way. This is for the entire space. So like, I just think that we're lacking that entirely. And I think the reason why no one's really trying to get that on the ball or get that on the ground running is because everyone's just so focused on hopping from one extraction to another. So like when we kind of like move the mentality and go more mature about it and say like, yeah, we want to make money, we want to do all that stuff, but we also want to make sure that people aren't getting fucked over left and right. I think that's where we make that little coalition or something like that. I think more people need to vouch for that in the space, but I don't know. But just my thoughts.
I think we see a lot less of that in the gaming side of Web3, right? Like now, like I think in the early days, there was a lot more like projects that would rug and stuff like that, right? Like now we're seeing like more developers build like serious like products, you get me, or trying to at least, right? But there's still a massive crowd and like sector in Web3, right? That's still pretty like consistent, right? Like people scamming each other or like being extremely extractive, right? Or selling some type of like rug, right? Like, so I don't know, man. To your point, how do I think those are all great points, and I want that to happen as well. But I think there still needs to be a major flushing that happens in the space, right? We still need to get rid of so many people that are here for the wrong reasons and they are kind of like overshadowing like the right crowd, right? Like the people trying to protect people, the people trying to tell people like, hey, this is the right way to do things, or like don't do that because that's wrong. Like you're gonna end up like scamming a bunch of people if you do it like that, like so
Well, if you look
Hopefully
at
one
like,
day the space gets there, you know?
yeah, if you look at like the blockchains that have kind of looked at like what games we should, partner or promote with, like Solana, for instance, there's a certain level of game that needs to be there, or a certain level of like roadmap or whatever. I think like that's a great start. That's a first step, right? But like there also needs to be a community side of it as well, because just because the blockchain says it's okay doesn't mean that the community agrees with it, right?
Well, I
I
mean,
think everyone should be heard, and like, sometimes your opinions or thoughts aren't really valid or whatever, but like someone should be heard at least. And then I think the committee should be represented by people from the community.
I agree, but I also think that Twitter is still the main like place where even companies are choosing to like do outreach through, right? Like the other day I got hit up by a game that's supposedly on Solana. You get me? But then I asked people like Missy and Addis, who are Solana ambassadors, right? And Addis, who works with the Solana ambassador program. Like, hey, you heard about this game on Solana? And both of them told me never heard of them. You get me? So it's like, shit, there's a game, right? Like supposedly you're a legit company. You have it in your website and in your bio that you are on Solana network, right? But yet two people that work super closely with that network have never heard of your product. You get what I'm saying? Like, do I trust you? Do I answer you? Probably not, because two of my closest friends in the space are telling me that they don't know about you. You get me? So right off the bat, like you're already starting me like red flags, right? So like I'm not even wanting to interact with your product. So there's still a lot of that experience happening in the space. You get me? And until we get into a more friendly state of mind because we feel safe enough to do it, then it's not gonna have that feel of like that community looking out for each other, like you were saying earlier.
I just think there could be like some kind of like stamp of approval that's verifiable through blockchain. I mean, we have like this crazy tech that works, and it's just we don't use it in the appropriate way. Everyone uses it just to get rich, and it's like, what's the point of like getting rich if you're not building anything? Like you're just here to like extract and move on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, you can always tell. You can always tell, I guess, how much at least on a community member level. Like, I always pick the people that I want to build long-term relationships with based off of like, yo, so what do you want to do during the bear? What do you want to do during the bull? Like, why are you here? And the second I hear the blanket answer of like, sell the top and retire, or go make a bunch of money and take it out and invest in this and this, like depending on the answers that I get, like there's certain cases where it makes sense from an investor's perspective, like, all right, I'm going to sell the top on Bitcoin or one of these like major caps or shit coins, and then I'm going to take that money, invest in real estate, and continue to reinvest into crypto. I mean, that's just smart business. Like, but there's certain people where you're like, you hear words like, hey, man, I don't really care to be around here. I just want to get rich, or, we'll see where things go with this industry. I'm just here while the opportunity's here. Like, those are the people that I avoid that shit like the plague. Like, because once you give me an answer like that, I know that there's no point in building like a long-term relationship with you. You're not going to be around to do shit with anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, just a thought I had.
Well, listen, this is the perfect stopping point to say hello to our sponsors of the show, Player Network. So let's give them a shout out real quick, and we'll be right back. Are you ready to level up your gaming experience? Meet Player Gaming Blockchain, the ultimate gaming protocol on Avalanche. Player is truly multi-chain compatible, enabling all crypto gamers to play together no matter their wallets or network. With the Player ID, enjoy seamless logins and personalized experience, while the Mirror Wallet technology adds an extra layer of security. Game developers can easily integrate NFTs and in-game tokens with Player's plug-and-play technology. Earn rewards through Game Stake and explore 6 playable games with more on the way. Thank you to Player Gaming Blockchain for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the show.
Shout outs to Player Blockchain.
Let's go. Shout out to Player. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show, man. Appreciate you guys. And guys, make sure you check them out. And what we say, I still think Sue Racers is my favorite title that they have. But what about you guys? Do you guys have a favorite?
I like Zuno, man. I like Zuno.
Zuno is pretty fun too.
Yeah, I like Zuno a lot.
You like Zuno too?
Zuno is the OG game in the new form. So I definitely like the game.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, man. Yo, just the other day I was watching another podcast. I actually don't know if this podcast has a name. I think it's just named like with the two hosts, like their names. I think that's like the name of the podcast as well. But they were interviewing Nayshot about like 100 Teeth and like kind of like the journey of like creating like the business and like what that took and all that type of stuff, right? And like one of the segments he was talking about like esports and like his take on it. And when Suno by JK, yo JK, we should do a game night in the Discord, like you did with the
Yeah, that would
Among Us.
be fire.
We
Yeah,
should do like a Suno one. That would
yeah.
be
I'm
super fire.
down. I'll just
That
let
would be
y'all know
fun.
it's gonna get really loud though with that one. Uno is a loud game.
Dude, I get pretty competitive with it, so I'm about it. I'm about it. But anyways, Nisha was saying basically that because in one of the questions they asked him, hey, like if you were creating 100 Teeth from the beginning, right? Would you have still ventured into esports? And his answer was absolutely not, right? Mostly from the standpoint of like the amount of money that it took, like the amount of money that they had to raise and the position that it put them in, right? To sustain that, right? And like worrying about profitability, right? And like making profits and like taking care of the players, all that type of stuff, right? That goes into esports. But they answered, his answer was no, that he wouldn't be involved in esports. I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit and see what you guys thought about it. But while you guys are sharing your thoughts, let me just look up the video real quick so we can share that with the audience.
Yeah, esports is a very costly venture. It's a dying business. A lot of esports different teams are, just having problems with liquidity. They're not making enough revenue as it is. It turns out people tuning in online isn't enough money. Surprise there. You got to have butts in the seats. And, some of these venues don't have enough seats to put butts in the seats to make a good profit, not to mention the amount of money it takes to do all the production they do. They brought in all these different partnerships like Kia, State Farm, etc. for like the LCS League, for instance. I know Banco Santander was sponsoring the EU side of the things for League of Legends. And that's just League of Legends, by the way. Probably one of the most successful esports. And the LCS is like, if you want to call it, in a bear market, like they're.
Can we
like,
stop right there in your point real quick? Because you're
Yeah.
bringing up a valid point real quick here. Because
Sure.
there's still a big differentiation here, right? Like, let's make it clear: the leagues of esports, like the CDL, the LCS, right? Like what Hado's talking about, those leagues are very profitable. All right, they're making money. The people that are not profitable in these situations are the orgs, right? That are competing in this
Mhm.
league. But right, because they're the ones, like if you look at the LCS, like Hado was mentioning, right? I believe they're buying for a league spot is around $30 million. That's what an org has to pay in order to have a spot in the league. Which, by the way, I believe it's only 12 spots. So if the 12 spots are filled, that you can, I'm pretty sure you can even participate in the league, right? Like you make it to those 12 spots. So like it's, and I know they have like an academy team and stuff like that, like an academy league and all that stuff. But let's be honest, nobody's watching that. There's no viewership there, right? So like, how would you agree that that's like the biggest like downfall when it comes to esports, right? That it's like it's a profitability, it's a profitable issue towards the orgs, not like the actual like leagues that are running like the like the esports events.
Well, Riot gets to rake in all the money for this league, for example, and then it's divvied out. But yeah, it's not profitable. I believe OTK didn't want to make a league team or any kind of those teams because of how much it costs to buy in, like you're saying. So that's one thing. The other thing too is like it's hard for fandom too, because think about it. When you compare it to other sports leagues, you get to spend not 40 years with LeBron. That'd be crazy. Like 20 some odd years with LeBron James across different teams. But you could buy his jersey on the Cavaliers, the Lakers, Miami Heat, and those fandoms are very long-standing fandoms. The average esports player, if you're Faker, could be over 5+ years, but most esports players are out within 3 to 4 years, right? If they're lucky, and the personality side of it too isn't really selling any jerseys or anything like that. Not to mention esports, when you're selling the jerseys, you're not selling the team jerseys of the players. You're buying your own jersey or just a jersey that just says the team name on it. So you're not even like trying to be a fan of anyone. So the revenue models for esports really isn't that lucrative. And then, like I said, the shelf life of the top stars, like unless your name is Faker or maybe Reckless, like you're really not known that well for that very long. And there's some crack kid somewhere else that's 17. After you turn 21, you become a veteran. You become an old player at 21, and then they bring in all these 17 to 18-year-olds that are going to replace you, and the cycle repeats. So it's really not a substantial model from that point as well.
Like I said, man, when it comes to esports, you're totally right. Like the revenue models are like very like they have a lot of flaws, you know. Um, a lot of the times the leagues don't allow orgs to like make money through like revenue share through like you know, like merchandise sales, like skin sales within like if you think about it, right? Like when like a game like Call of Duty, for example, right? Like in game, like if I went to the store of Call of Duty, right? Like the in-game store, and I went to the skin section, they had like a CDL section where all the orgs had their own CDL skin, right? And like if I wanted to rep, let's say up to gaming inside Call of Duty, right? I could buy the up to gaming skin, put it on my character, put it on my weapons, right? Those teams, those orgs are not generating any revenue from those sales. That all goes straight into the CDL or goes straight into Activision, right? Like it doesn't like teams are not allowed to make revenues from those sources, right? And that's a big hurt when it comes to like them being able to make profit and maintain like their, you know, their org inside these games or this lease, right? Like to be able to support them. So that's a big flaw right there. While you were talking about like games, like uh like players, right, not being
Yeah.
personalities, right, not being around for longer than 3 to 5 years. That's because most esports players, they don't make content, bro. You get me? They're not making a brand from themselves. So as soon as they stop competing, right, they don't have a fan base, they don't have a fandom to like continue like following them, right? Like so a lot of the times, like think about it, like Team Liquid, right? That's a team that has been pretty successful in esports, I would say, right? I think we can all agree that they're a team that knows how to win. But when it comes to personality, there's not a lot, maybe like one or two people that I can name from Team Liquid that I know of. You get what I'm saying?
The
Like there's
personality hires that they get from like those orgs usually come outside of the main games that they play. For instance, Cloud9 has Mango, right? Everybody, if you know about Smash Bros, you know about Mango. But Mango is a personality himself. He says a lot of outlandish things. He does a lot of outlandish. He's always drunk. He does a lot of things like that. He has like Fuckboy Friday or whatever the fuck he calls it, where he just gets drunk. Oh, sorry, it's 40 Friday, where he just drinks a bunch of 40s with his friends, kicks back, and hanging out. He's also like been featured on Red Bull and stuff. So he's like a very personable guy. You talk about Team Liquid, you could talk about Hungrybox, who runs tournaments called the Coinbox, sponsored by Coinbase. And all the guys that do that well, they do capitalize on those opportunities. But like you're saying, and I agree with you, a lot of the players don't have that kind of fandom. And it's a little different too when you just see players play through the screen versus them playing on a field or playing like you're kind of like have this break of connection to the player because you're just watching the player do player things. But then like if they don't have anything to say after they just hit the crazy shot or whatever, people are just like, wow, cringe, whatever, blah, blah. And no one follows them for that. And people follow people in this space for personality. Like you could look at, I brought up Faker, for example. Faker has actually like a bigger following than some like MLB athletes and earns more than some MLB athletes. So it's kind of like to the extreme too, where it's like, if you are a personality, you can make way more than some regular people in regular sports professions. But I think really what it comes down to is the fandoms are very, very secure in certain people. And I this is a hot take. I'll say this. When those people leave, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about esports. When Faker leaves, when Reckless leaves, when Hungrybox is done, when Mango is done, all these people that have these fandoms, nobody's gonna give a fuck about esports because all the personalities are gonna be gone, and you're gonna have a bunch of kids that don't have any personality with talent, and they're not gonna be able to monetize that.
Well, to me, it's just it doesn't make any sense, bro. To me, if you're like a person that plays at the highest level that you could play in a game, right? I don't see how it doesn't compute in your head that you should be streaming it, right? You're gonna be able to get the best clips, the best viral moments, right? You should be streaming your fucking your scrims. You should be streaming every time you're playing the game, right? Like obviously not when you're competing on a LAN or something or like an actual tournament, but like any moment that you're just off like an actual tournament, you should be streaming it, and that's something that doesn't take any extra effort, right? aside than obviously participating with your chat if you wanted to be that type of streamer. But people will like your fans if you already are playing in a stage and you have fan of you playing at a LAN event or something because of how skillful you are. They're also gonna go and watch you play on Twitch or YouTube or wherever you decide to go, right? Because that's what they want. That's what they're a fan of you, for, right? Like they want to see you play. So
Hey,
like I don't
Clouds,
understand why more pro players. Yeah,
you're
what's
like
up?
popping a lot with like the audio. I don't know if Mizzy can hear it too, but I would just check the
Yep.
stream. You're popping a lot. Like,
Oh really?
I
Yep.
think you might.
Like am
I don't
too
know. I
loud?
don't think it's the
Or-
mic. I think you need to like try and reboot the StreamYard real quick because I don't think it's the mic.
I don't know if I can do that.
Oh shit.
Like you want me to leave the studio and come?
I
back
mean,
in?
it's not impossible to hear you. It's just it's like a little poppy, and it cuts in and out just a little bit at the end of your sentence.
Well, let me try leaving the studio and coming back in. You guys take over for a sec.
Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, with esports, what it comes down to is personalities, and I mean, I just don't see the like you look at a game like Rocket League or even Call of Duty or even CS, dude. CS doesn't really have much personality.
I think it comes down to personalities, but I think like the problem with esports, and I don't talk about it much. Ironically, I'm a co-founder at an esports like entertainment community, right? We're like, I think you could compare us a little more to a league at this point. With what we do at Paladins, because we host so many tournaments and events that people join in on, right? But I would say the biggest issue that I see with esports, outside of the personalities and the creators and what are the gamers, competitors, whatever you want to call them, not being able to build fandom or any of that, is at its core level, the way that it's set up is just immensely flawed. And by that I mean, like, I compare it to every other like sport, right? I was a really big sports kid growing up, played a lot of basketball, did martial arts. I didn't play football, but I was heavily like into it. Like I played with my friends, I watched it on TV. And the biggest thing is I look at esports and I'm trying to always compare it to one of these other leagues because these leagues have been successful, right? Basketball is one of the most profitable. You have soccer, you have basketball, one of the most profitable, businesses in the world as far as league structure. And it always confuses me because there is no inherent reason as to why a org should have like personalities that represent them and vice versa. Like, and the reason I'll say this is because it's an individual sport essentially, or if you're playing a game like CS, it's a team sport at that point. Certain games are individuals, certain games are teams. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, the org covers the cost, but they have to give up most of the prize pool. So you have these gamers that are like sponsored by their org to be able to compete, but the org has like zero upside in it. So it's like, because the players are still expected to take the prize pools, right? Where in basketball, so that's like so flawed to me because in MMA, for example, you're allowed to be a Ronin, so to speak, right? You're allowed to be your own man. You don't have to join an org, but you have a bunch of sponsors on your shorts that are sponsoring you to be able to actually pay for your ticket into the tournament and be able to, pay for your entry fee. But then the prize pool money is yours, but you don't have anyone, like they got free advertising. You don't have an org that put up money for you and is getting cucked because they don't get shit from the prize pool. Then when I look at basketball, there are no prize pools in basketball. You just get a salary and the team monetizes you as a player. You get your yearly salary, which in places like basketball and baseball is pretty lucrative. Team makes money off of jersey sales and, tickets and all that shit. So it's like a win-win in many ways. Like some people would say they, like LeBron James should have had ownership stake in Cleveland with how much he increased their valuation. But at the end of the day, the man's been very, very well compensated throughout his career. He's been profitable. So it's like, why? At the end of the day, I actually think the biggest problem is at the league perspective because right now the league wins, the players win, and the orgs are fucked. And the reason the orgs are fucked is because the league doesn't do what they have to do to help the orgs. So for me, and then you have the aggregation of attention, right? It's like so diluted the esports space where it's like when you have to get into a game, then that game might have 2 to 3 leagues surrounding around it. So it's like, man, in my opinion, someone has to create the NBA of esports, and that's where things get fixed because you could have, you could have the top 5 games that people vote for that are a part of this league. And then there's the hometown aspect, which has always been like such a core fundamental part of teams outside of esports that esports never really got. Like, I was a Yankee fan growing up. Why? Because I grew up in New York. Like, it's really easy to just build organic fandom around your org rather than the players on your org. Like, yeah, I was a huge Derek Jeter fan as a kid, but I didn't stop rooting for the Yankees when he retired. I'm still a Yankee fan, so I just kept rooting for the Yankees, right?
I think the issue to what you're saying, Missy, is that when it comes to video games, it's not like the NBA, right? Where the NBA takes care of all of basketball, right? Like in esports, there's many leagues that take care of different games, and each league has their own culture differently, right? Like, for example, what you're talking about, the Call of Duty League did that, right? Like the Call of Duty League, each city has a team. Like you have the Uptech Texas.
This I know, but this I know, yeah, for sure. But what I'm saying is like no league has become the league. Is what I'm saying. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like to do what you're saying, like instead of having divided leagues across video games, it should just be one league for all of video games. You get me?
You guys are missing one key component. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You add on.
Yeah, the key component is that from high school to college to the pros, there's a pathway to get to basketball, to get to football, whatever. Now that is starting to change because the collegiate scene for esports is growing, and I would argue it's growing better than the big leagues. But until it's like a pathway to get from middle school to college to middle school to high school to college to then pros, and that's like the way you get from like a middle school player or esports athlete to a collegiate athlete to a pro level athlete, right? There's a level of dedication and like commitment and drive, but also there's a level of structure that goes into all that.
Well, that's what I'm saying from a league perspective. Like, that's just another thing that you can add to the league. It's not really missing a component. It's just that's another component to add, right? It's like,
well, that's what's missing from esports.
Yeah, but you still need all the other structure. Like, you can come up with that structure, and that's great, but you still need a place that aggregates all the attention and actually has org's best interest in mind. Because right now you have a failed attempt at creating the leagues that exist in both NBA and in like MMA, where it's like you can't just sponsor one player because you need team plays for certain situations. But you're acting like these players are getting paid salary plus tournament fees, like tournament winning, and orgs aren't getting shit. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. So I agree, like, a proper structure that would be set up by this all-encompassing league for people to have like multiple levels, like, a G League, something similar where it's like, hey, maybe there's a high school league, so that way you can actually be a gamer between the ages of 21 and fucking 30 and not get your ass kicked by a fucking 14-year-old, right? I think that is where the industry has to go if they actually want to be serious about this shit for the long term.
I think all the things that you guys are mentioning are things that are already in place for esports. Like, there's many academy teams for rookie players to be a part of and then eventually make it to like the major leagues, right? There's plenty of universities that are already offering gaming as a pathway. Like there's university actually making professional esports teams as part of like their curriculums for like sports teams that they offer to be a part of, right? Like, all this stuff is in place, but I think what's hurting esports the most out of everything is that, unlike traditional sports, I do think that viewership in esports is dying. You get me? There's not a lot of viewership when it comes to like esports events nowadays. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what really hurts the opportunity of making it more mainstream, like Hato was mentioning, right? Like, of having like a pathway of like how to make it from like middle school all the way to like, pro league level, right? Like, So onto like they figure out how to make viewership more sustainable, how to allow orgs to be more sustainable in order to drive that viewership, right? Because the viewership comes from the fandom of the orgs, right? So that's the key missing element that esports needs to figure it out in order to be sustainable, in my opinion.
And all right, so what do you guys think of? Because very, very valid point, and that kind of brings it back also in a way like it's a really good additive to Hado's initial point of like once these core content creator type of like personality people that compete are out, like Mango, Faker, Reckless. Does the next generation have like that personality kind of content, or does everyone try to become like the next Kai Sonata and those type of like personality streamers, right?
I personally think that. Oh, go ahead.
And I personally think that AI is going to become its own esport league in a way that has the sweatiest gameplay that we're going to be capable of seeing. So in many ways, it's almost like, as ridiculous as it's going to sound, esports should almost embrace like wrestling and make it like more entertaining, more trash talk, more of that vibes. Because if you want the best gameplay, AI is going to be able to do it better than any human can in about 5 years.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. I love that you brought this up actually because it's going to further what I was going to say. So Ludwig Ahlgren had this streamer games thing, and it's basically like his Olympics for streamers, I guess. And he actually sold tickets, and people were in the stands, like in the hot sun, for like 2 or 3 days straight, watching that shit. And who did he bring into the all these different events? All these different orgs that are focusing on what? Content. And yeah, Mango was there. But you know what? Mango is a content creator still, even though he's like a sweaty melee player, maybe past his prime, who knows? But he is still a content creator. He makes content, right? He's also signed by Red Bull on top of him being part of Cloud9. So I think that what we saw from OTK shift, and I think 100 Thieves is doing the same shift too. They're all shifting into shows and content instead of like this sweaty gameplay, because that has a very quick shelf life. And you're right, Mizzy. Quite frankly, people are going to want to bet on AI stuff because it's going to be way more random. It's going to be way more of a spectacle because you don't have the association between the player and whatever. Maybe you have the association between the AI team and the AI itself, or whatever they want to name it. Just kind of like how you have the Battle Bots League back in the day where people would make these big ass robots fight each other. I think that's how it's going to be. And then what we'll see a shift more towards is like the personality side, the show side of stuff. Because if you look at the future of Twitch, yeah, like you could make the argument like with the Melee CC that Mizkif is trying to bring to MMA, and Twitch is trying to go a little bit of sports. I think the future of Twitch or content creation in general is personality. I don't think it's being the best gamer. That's really like nobody really cares about that anymore. Everybody cares about like the things that you say, not the things or not the gameplay that you put out. That's just my opinion.
I mean, in my I personally disagree with you guys. I have no personal interest of seeing AI like esports or AI like, I don't think that's more entertaining than seeing like two actual players go at it. Because one, like, no matter how skillful you are as a player, when you're playing in a LAN event, there's mistakes you can make just due to like nerves or other things going wrong, and that adds. Sorry, I got tongue twisted there. That adds on to the storyline being built, right? Like that's how you get like feuds between players being built. Like like I don't know. Thinking back, like I would have never seen like what happened between Nasha, for example, and Ace, right? If you follow Call of Duty, I would have never seen that fight that happened on stage between them on a Call of Duty LAN event on an AI event. You get me? Like so, like I do think that level of entertainment comes from a more high when it's like two actual players going at it versus like AI going at it. I do understand you guys' point, but me personally, from an entertainment side of thing, I think that will always be more entertaining, like seeing two actual players go at it on stage. Now,
no, that's not. But that's not what I said. But go ahead.
No, I know that's not what you say. I'm just saying, like if you're saying like, hey, like, will AI, be able to produce more like of a high level skill play, right? Because it's like almost perfect, right? Like when it's up on stage. I do get that, like that the technology can do that, but I personally would still rather see two people play, against each other. But when it comes to like more people becoming like Kaisen at, I don't think that's gonna be the case, bro. I don't think just anyone can be a personality or content creator. And to tell you the truth, I think when it comes to pro players, I think a lot of them don't know how to make content. You get me? And that's why a lot of them don't do it. Because when I look back and I see how many like actual pro players became personalities, there's not a lot of them, bro. Like when you think about it, right? Like Mango, for example, is one of the only melee pro players that I've seen actually.
He's the only melee player I fucking know, really.
Well, you can argue Sonic
aside
Fox.
from
Sonic Fox,
from Chance, aside from Chance, because he played WoW. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few, but like you can count them with your hand, right? Like same thing in Call of Duty. Like like you see Nasha, Scumpy, like that. Those type of like actual pro players that make content. But then you see someone like Formo, right, who's like a huge pro player and super good, but he doesn't really make content. Really, like when he tries to make content, it's not that good, right? Like it's not his forte. So I don't see a world where a lot of pro players lean towards like being a content creator at the level of like Kaisen, for example.
Yeah.
Well, that's the extreme, though. We gotta admit that that's the extreme, though.
Well, I just mean like
on an AI level, I was mentioning more or less like if you're not a personality at all, like you mentioned Nate Shot and Faith Bank, that's a hell of a lot of personality. That's why I got viewership. I agree. Ain't no AI ever touching that. Like no AI is going to be able to touch the personality guys that want to square up. But if you're someone that is like a sweaty ass gamer, has very little personality, don't have much viewership, not much fandom, but you're participating in these tournaments, not like anyone feels any type of way about you winning or losing because they're not really big fans of you. Like that's the gamer that AI is going to replace, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like I said, man, when we see a world where like esports become just one league and all of the games are playing within this league, right? Then that's when I see like those changes. But like it depends on the league, right? Because if I see a league like Call of Duty or Halo, right? I'm not a fan of like I can be a fan of a specific player, but more so I'm a fan of the team, right?
Yeah.
So even if I have Forma, for example, who I know is not a content creator, right? Like I don't really follow him for his content, right? But he was teaming up with someone like Scumpy, who is a content creator, but is also a good pro player. You get me? I'm still a fan of the team that Formal's playing for. So if they were to lose, I would be pissed. You get me? So like it depends. It depends on the type of league that it is. If it's a single player league where it depends on the player to also be a personality, right? To have that fandom behind them, then yes, I absolutely agree with you. I think AI will most definitely replace those type of players.
I don't think AI will ever replace fighting games, though. I don't think there's any like that. It's the main event. No side event, sure. Main event, there's no.
I actually see that being one of the first ones to be replaced because like AI trainers type of shit. Like I feel like that's more friendly towards fighting games than a shooter.
Nah,
you get what I'm saying? Like AI arena, bro. Like you
don't know the fighting game community then.
No, I'm not saying like from a fandom perspective. I'm just saying from a mechanics perspective. Like what AI.
Yeah,
I see AI starting with fighting games over shooters. So I'm trying to say like that being implemented in fighting games first.
The reason why I disagree is because the only reason why people tune in for fighting games in the first place is because of the personality and the skill.
No, you're not understanding. I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say is that if AI became like an AI trainer, right, where like the personality is training the AI bot to like take after like the play style that they do, right? I see that being more friendly in a fighting game because it's just one person controlling. There's no team. You get what I'm saying?
Like that already happens in with 20XX. That already happened where you can mimic like Hungrybox's play style, so they could train against how to play against Hungrybox. Because for a while, Hungrybox was beating everyone in melee, and then they made an AI training bot to like mimic his play style, and then they were able like to defeat him after a few matches or whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then that proves my point.
I'm telling you,
they weren't using that to like put people into the seats or anything. They weren't streaming that. That was just so they could beat Hungrybox, though. That wasn't like to like make people get to people.
I just see it more
really
in that space because I see like in any shooter, like most of the leads for shooter involves the team. So like,
I'm telling you from personal perspective, as someone that trained an AI bot and had a live event, it's still equally as exciting.
Well, I'm not saying it's not exciting at all. I'm saying it's just not going to be the main event. I think like for instance, we did run a lot of amiibo tournaments, And those were like side gigs that we would do. And so what happened was whenever the main tournament was done, everyone would get their amiibos and Smash 4, and they would put it on the Wii U or whatever. And then everyone would like pretty much make a bracket. They'd fight each other. And it was a spectacle that we would watch as like, people that just got done playing a tournament. So I definitely think it is something of value for like a side event or like the co-main event. But like the main event, I think will always be like player versus player. Kind of like how there's like a co-main event for MMA, and it's like sometimes the co-main event's a better fight than the actual players fighting.
The only way I see it becoming a main event is if they allow somewhat like the personality or the player, right, to become kind of like a shoutcaster while their AI like bot is like fighting it out. You get what I'm saying? Like they bring another level of entertainment that you somewhat don't get on traditional esports because the players usually like locked into like their like playing. You get me? So like if they allow like we train our bots type of thing, right? Like our AI, they're fighting it out, and then the two players become like shoutcaster of their own match type of thing. I can see some level of entertainment there where like it can become like a main event type of thing.
And it is entertaining.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Watching amiibos fight each other while people are like, come on, I trained you for this shit. It's very entertaining.
Hey, listen, man. I mean,
we practiced. We prepared for this.
It's all about the entertainment value. And with that in mind, have you guys seen the Kaizenat and IShowSpeed Minecraft hardcore run? Whoa. No Diddy, but not
they were showering together.
I know.
Eating hardcore Minecraft is what I meant. I don't know about showering together.
Yeah, they streamed that shit too.
Yeah, they did. It was pretty
funny as fuck though. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the video.
You got the clip because I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Let me pull up the clip. But like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but obviously it has been hitting the news. Them beating Minecraft after like I don't even know how many days. I think it was like 100 days or something like that.
Did you see Ninja's?
How many days was it? Nah, it wasn't 100 days. Yeah, he was talking shit, right?
It was a couple of days, but yeah. So Ninja was saying that
he always does on Kai, bro. Like,
yeah, he was saying
what is his problem?
Hold on, let me tell you. So Ninja was like saying that they didn't want to beat the game on purpose because they saw how many viewers they had, so they were prolonging how long they could beat it.
I have that clip right here. Hold on, I have that clip right here, actually.
Which I think is complete bullshit.
Bro's just salty he never moved on for Fortnite, and now he's stuck there.
No, bro is salty.
No, he said he hates Fortnite, bro. He said this new season sucks and he's going to Call of Duty.
Bro is salty because he went to Mixer for the bag and lost all his relevance. That's what he's salty about.
I don't think he's salty about that, bro.
Yeah,
he got a bag. He got it back from Mixer, got out of the contract early, went back to Twitch like it was all good.
And now no one cares about him.
Nothing happens. I mean, bro, nobody cared about Ninja a while ago. Like Ninja's just like a watch player at this point, you know.
He also had some salt to say whenever his record was broken.
Let's see
for like the subs.
I was seeing some of the Minecraft stuff. Like Jake is talking about all these Fortnite guys who are beating Minecraft all the way through on the hardest level in like 3 hours. Guys beat around like day 4.
Yeah, bro. Those guys. I mean, they're doing it for pure entertainment, bro. They're also, it's like very much like Tim the Tap Man and his Fall Guys thing, where he was getting like hundreds of thousands of viewers because he couldn't get his first Fall Guys win. It's one of those things where it's like, dude, Kai's pulling anywhere from 250,000 to plus viewers playing this shit. It's like, dude, they don't want to win. They don't want to.
Hold on, let me get this headshot real quick.
What I find weird about this clip is that, yeah, everybody knows that we're doing it for entertainment, bro. Like, obviously, they weren't locked in trying to fucking beat Minecraft. You get me? They were fucking dressed as Minecraft's character, for God's sakes. You get me? Like, what bothers me about Ninja is that this motherfucker, it seems like every time something good with Kaizenat comes around, like he beats some type of record or whatever, I don't know why it's so hard for this guy to say, just say, yo, shout outs to Kai, bro. He's killing it. You get me? Like, he always has to say something in a negative light about it. Like, it's
that's what I'm saying. He's salty.
Oh, yeah. Like, they're doing it for entertainment, bruh. Like Tim the Tapman, like doing the Fallout thing, bruh. Bruh. Like, it's like, bro, we all know that. Like, it's funny. That's the whole
honestly, with the amount of people that fucking tag me whenever I do bad at Nyan, this might be a meta. Maybe I just get on stream and suck so bad at the game that I just break viewership.
God damn, what the fuck? Wait, hold on.
I've never. Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, hold on. I want to see this before and after.
God damn. God
What the
damn!
Nigga,
God
what? I,
damn!
yo,
Jesus Christ.
I want this dentist, bro. This dentist is a fucking gas. Like,
She
Holy
got some.
shit.
She got some veneers or
Bro.
something. God, what the fuck?
Bro.
She had a can opener for teeth before that shit.
She looked like the monsters with the light on the top of their head in the ocean.
Oh my god. Yo.
Bro, you guys are the worst. You're gonna find this
All
video.
right, where the fuck were we? Yo, that threw me off. Oh, we never saw the video of Kai and Speed.
I know. I'm trying to find it. I think
Okay.
Kyle was talking about Ninja talking shit.
Yeah, bro.
Well-
Honestly, he's salty as shit.
Yeah, just a thing about, he said about Tim the Tap Man never beating Fall Guys.
Oh yeah.
I've never beat Fall Guys. I've lost every time.
Shit. Oh, right here. I found the clip.
Bro, honestly, he's just salty because like
this shit's
imagine
so crazy. Hold on.
imagine you see a guy that can stream whatever he wants and you're stuck streaming Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like, you know, like
He could stream anything he wants to though.
He wouldn't get
bro,
the viewership. He wouldn't get
bro,
the viewership.
listen, bro,
He's
listen.
a multimillionaire.
Yeah, I
Who
don't think Ninja
cares?
gives a shit anymore. Like, that's why he's saying all this crazy shit. If Ninja was actually caring about money or viewership, bro, he would not be saying even fuck in front of the camera. This dude would be the most PG person ever. Like, trust me, that guy is just
Fuck
like,
you say to me, you
crazy,
little
bro.
shit.
Yeah, bro. The cringiest video that he has is him trying to do the floss in Times Square during
Oh
the
my
fucking New Year's
God.
full drop, and nobody else did it back, bro.
I'm
That
not
shit
seeing
was
enough movement.
Yeah.
That was so crazy.
Yo,
Let it out.
this
Okay,
is so
it's okay.
crazy.
Let it out. Let it out.
What in the satanic is this? What the fuck?
5 days. Hey, look. 400 fucking hours. Hey, look. We do this shit, bro. Hey, look. We don't have to sleep here tonight. We don't have to sleep here tonight. Let it out.
Bro, these people are fucking insane.
Bro.
What the fuck?
Yo, JK with the crypto hollow laugh emoji. That's what's up.
Yo,
see it.
let's go. Yo, but wait, I gotta see this reaction one more time, bro. This dude started shaking like an exorcism, bro.
Dude, these guys are on another thing, man. Like, why he sound like they're not beating the allegations of like the Church of Satan with this fucking goat.
Yeah, what the fuck was that, bro?
Dude, that's what he does all the time. This is the face he makes all the time.
That's crazy.
Stay off the weed.
Yeah, for real. Shout out Jackie. Yo, what's up? What's up, Batman?
Yo, what up, Batman? I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
You see the video of him freaking out because Ronaldo passed his subscribers or whatever it was? Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about where he lost?
Yeah, he lost. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, he
hold on.
fucking bled because he fucking destroyed
Right.
some glass.
Here he comes. Here he comes. We're now on the go. No.
Bro, look at the sub count on the side, dude. Oh my god. This guy is
When you get
losing his mind.
ratioed by your idol.
Bro, he's losing his mind. Hold on, let me lower this a little bit because I don't want to blow people.
Hey, Ronaldo has the most followers on Instagram. So.
Ask me one day. Oh my god. Oh.
That's what he looks like at a toilet.
Yo, I didn't see that part. What the fuck? He launched himself.
Here he comes.
Yo,
Did y'all see Speed and Kai when they were playing Unchained while they were chained?
Yeah, that shit
Oh,
was
yeah,
funny
yeah.
as fuck.
I saw that shit too. Yeah, that shit was funny as fuck too. Oh
Yeah.
man, but that's funny as fuck, dude. Ah, guys in that fucking and Speed, man.
Shout out
Talk
to
about
them.
entertainment.
Yeah, shout out to them, bro. They go the extra mile. Like, you know, anyone that wants to hate on them, like the sets that Kai puts together for his streams is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the level of like dedication that dude puts into his content, you gotta respect that shit.
Yeah, no, that's true, bro. Like every time he does one of those feature streams and like he goes all out with his room, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what's
mean,
the
how many
craziest one you
times-
guys have seen like so far? I think the craziest one I've seen was
The
I
Dark
want to say
Souls.
I want to say the 4th of July one, bro. He literally.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh
say that.
yeah. Wait, blew up
They
his
made
whole
a-
fucking room.
It blew up his
Yeah.
room, bro. Like
They made a whole ass replica of his room with Mr. Beast.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's
it was a
crazy.
replica.
That's fucking.
Because everyone was calling him out, and then like they're like, "Yeah, behind the scenes, this is what it was looking like." Because like it's Mr. Beast, bro. You got to go big with Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Have you seen his bunkers? Have you seen Mr. Beast bunkers? Like the one that they did the Squid Game on and all that type of stuff?
Yeah,
No.
that's just crazy.
That
dude.
shit is wild, bro. It's somewhere in like the middle of like in between Ukraine or some shit like that. Like
Shit
I
is
found out
crazy.
about it because I saw this TikTok of this one creator that's crazy at like that game that you and I play
GeoGuessr.
Yeah, GeoGuessr. He's like wild with that shit. And he saw a picture of it. And he's like, "Oh, this is Mr. Beast's bunker. It's located in this area right here." And I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? That thing is like underground. It has like 5 floors." Or some shit
Oh,
like that.
are you talking about the TikTok guy that sees like the photo and he can
Yeah,
know
he's
exactly
like, "Oh,
where
this
you
shit."
are?
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, we're east here. This is this random island in between." Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy needs to get hired for something, bro. Like,
People
holy
are like,
shit.
people are like in his chat, like, "Bro, this guy has like 100,000 IQ. Like, what the fuck is going on?"
He's like, I see that you put this trash at this location with next to this leaf. I'm like, nigga, how the fuck?
yeah. That guy. No, the one that gets me is a picture of a lake with like a random rock, and he's like, "Oh, that rock. Yeah, that rock is the one rock that I saw in that one island." Oh yeah. And then he just goes to it. And I'm like, "What the fuck, bro?" The comment
That
section is
dude-
like, "This dude's spotting islands by the type of rocks they have."
I think
That
there was
dude is
one
crazy.
where this guy like licked a rock or did something like that, and he's like, I know exactly where you licked it, and he swabbed it, got the DNA or whatever. I was like, dude, this guy's crazy.
Oh wait, we almost forgot, bro. The last piece of news that I wanted to talk about with Kai Cenat and Speed. Then people saying that they got rough for streamer of the year. How do you guys feel about this, bro? Because apparently this person won. I don't even know who the fuck this is.
Rivers.
Samantha Rivera Trevine. Who the fuck is this girl?
Look, we all know who won streamer of the year. Okay, there's no debate about it. I don't know who this person is. No offense to
No,
her, but
seriously, who is this person? Is she like super famous or something? Because how do you win?
never
streamer
heard of her.
the year?
Let me look her. Let's look her up, shall we? So what's her name?
Samantha Rivera. Rivers is her content creator name. This is almost as rigged as the fucking Olympics, bro.
She's a Mexican celebrity.
Okay.
She got 7 million followers on Twitch.
How many viewers does she average though?
Bro, ain't no way she's doing more than Kai Cenat and Speed had done this year. That's all I'm gonna say.
This year, I don't think anyone has beat.
That's what I'm
Cenat.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way.
Dude,
I'm
fucking
looking up the stream chart. Give me a second.
iShow Speed has been going around EU. Listen. iShow Speed is going around EU, just destroying countries. Like everyone comes from whatever country they're next to or in the same country and shuts down the entire fucking public system.
Yeah. Although I will say, do you see that those videos of him jumping over the Lambo? They were fake.
You think they're fake?
Yeah, of course, bro. He used like masking to like fake. In one of the videos, the car is coming at an insane speed, and then it literally stops perfectly, like not even like 10 feet away from speed. You get me? He shows the video like the road is blocked, bro. There's no way a car can stop that fast. I mean, that car would have hit all those fucking cones and shit.
You can pause the video and you can see his ass, like his ass and legs.
If you stop the video right when he jumped, you can see the mass.
You're sounding like Nick A right now, bro. He said the same thing.
Oh, did he?
He said, "Oh, you know, those videos are fake." Yeah, those videos.
Did he talk about masking? Because that's what I saw. I saw like in one of the videos, I saw like if you stop it right when he jumps, you see the mask perfectly. So
yeah, you sound exactly like him. That's what he said, bar for bar.
I don't know. She gets a few 100,000 views on her like Twitch clips.
Ooh, the girl, wait, I want to see this video by Nikki 30. What the fuck?
What's her average?
Is that what you're talking about? Nikki 30?
Nick A 30, yeah.
Samantha Rivers.
No. We're talking about two different conversations right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Samantha Rivers. What does she do? You said?
I mean, she gets a couple 100,000 views on her clips. I think she does anywhere between like 20 to 100K concurrent.
Well, I don't know, man.
That's the thing. Like Twitch is a
I
very
think-
big place.
I think what's interesting, and there was like someone that hopped in with this as a comment, is like how big the world is outside of America, basically. Now, I agree with you guys based on our exposure. Like the fact that Kai Cenat and Speed, neither one stream of the year is crazy disappointing because they're just always going viral. But like South America, one of the comments said that South America, she's a Mexican streamer, and South America is like a lot bigger than America, like this United States. So in one of the comment section, they were kind of just like trolling the USA, saying, you know, that there's a world bigger than us, and this is what like real entertainment looks like or whatever, because she's like a Spanish speaking streamer.
I mean,
So
we
it's
go
just
bar for bar.
just kind of just goes to show. I agree. You know, like I said, I personally think they were robbed, but it just also goes to show like you can kind of be a really big streamer and be nowhere on anyone's radar and still win fucking streamer.
I don't know.
At least
man.
not on our radar here.
That's giving me the vibes of like
All right,
T-Series when they passed PewDiePie. I was like, bro,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
of course you're gonna pass PewDiePie. You have all of India like backing you up.
Yep.
Listen.
You know, like-
So, in her last recent broadcast, 194 views. Oh, let me put this up on screen. Actually, in her last broadcast, she has 194,000 views, 323,000 views, 242, 158, 221, 345, 381. Right. Look at Kai. Recent broadcast 11 million, 25 million, 24 million, 3.9 million, 5.1 million, 5 million, 1.8 million. These are like the what 6 or 7 last broadcasts. So
Yep.
of those streams, Kai is blowing this woman out of the water. Sorry. Of course I have it.
You boy didn't get it canceled. No, I was kidding.
but to be fair, she did this by herself with no big name celebrities. I'm assuming. I don't know. Maybe she did. Kai brought in Kevin Hart, Drewski. I mean, you could argue that Speed is also another celebrity. Not to mention all the people he's brought in on the NYC thing. So he's not doing it by himself. But channel to channel, I think Kai still has way more views.
Yeah.
So
how often does Kai stream? Does anyone know?
Every single day, I think.
I mean, well, according to this, he's been streaming every 2 days. But every 2 days, it's a banger stream, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's one stream he did an L, this stream he did okay, this stream he popped off. It's like every stream is above 1 million.
Crazy.
Some of them are like 2-digit million. You know what I mean? So like,
Yep.
Kai is very fucking popular, and
Yeah,
I would
he was
like to see.
He was fucking
like-
robbed.
I would like to see her sub count versus his sub count.
Yeah, he was fucking robbed.
Yeah, and even I Show Speed probably could be like when you put them together. I think it's unfair, but if you go like individually, it should have been either I Show Speed or Kai. Honestly,
All right, you have to pick one. Who you picking?
I'm gonna say Kai Cenat, man.
I would also pick Kai personally. I find him more.
I
entertaining.
find I should be annoying as fuck, dude. I don't know.
I think that Kai is a better overall entertainer. I think he has more views, but I think the way Speed shut down Poland, shut down Norway, shut down Sweden, shut down pretty much every European country he walked into just because he was there. I don't know, man. He's got to.
I mean, those countries got like 5,000 people, bro. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but
I'm fucking.
Bro, Kai Cenat shut down the entire of New York City. So
you're right. That is a really good point.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
That New York City got more population than all those countries, man.
You know what? You're right.
He shut down the entire Times Square, bro. You know what it is to do that? You know how many people go to Times Square every single day?
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right. Kai Cenat is the bigger creator.
I'm not going based off of cloud or who might have more views or whatever. I'm just saying like Kai is way more entertaining. I find him actually like funny.
Kai did bring together Drewski and Kevin Hart in one stream.
Yeah.
And that was a fucking monster of an episode.
He's brought everyone, bro. Dude had like he basically made the dance in Lil Uzi's song like popular. You know,
he got Nicki Minaj. He got Blueface before he went to jail, and the crazy girl.
Yeah.
Krishan.
Bro, you can see how uncomfortable he was when he had them both on the stream. Because they started like choking each other out and shit. And he's like, all right.
Bro, she coughed in his face.
Yeah, bro.
They made an animation about that shit.
I would be so fucking pissed.
It's just her coughing on his face. That's funny as fuck.
So fucking pissed.
And then she like threw something into the wall and she's like, it's okay, you got money, you can fix it. Bro, I'll be like, bro, get your bitch out of here. Get your boy, if you don't.
Shit, bro. Yeah.
And then Blueface looked at him like, what am I gonna do? What can I do? I'm in hell.
Help me, please. Boy went to jail. Said fuck it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go to jail and be with fucking what's this other dude that shot Megan Thee Stallion?
Oh, Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
Which there's a big conspiracy about that because literally her bodyguard came out and said that he didn't do it. So
bro, now there's no saving this motherfucker, dude. Remember what they were saying that it was her cousin that did it or some shit like that, and he went on the Instagram post where they were posting that, and he's like, "She didn't do that, I did," or some shit like. I was like, you can't give yourself up and come back.
So many people that were there have like gone and said that he didn't do it. Like,
yeah, I mean, well, hey, man, when you admit yourself that you did your own shit, like you're fucked. You get me? Like, there's no coming back to that.
I don't know who he was trying to protect or whatever, or if he did do it. I don't even know. But prison tapes, that shit was pretty good.
Listen, bro, that fucking one freestyle he did on Aiden Ross stream, that shit was fire.
Yeah. Yo, you ever see the one that he did on he went on like Sway's show?
Yeah,
and he was like doing a freestyle and like he gets out of the chair and he's the same fucking height. I was fucking dead, bro.
Dude, it's like, bro, I just pictured this dude like right here, right? And he gets up and he's like this.
Yep. he's like going in, bro. He's going in. He's like going off. And then he gets up and he like starts doing his shit. My homie's the same height, bro.
Bro, that's funny as fuck, dude. Oh my god, dude.
But I fuck with Prison Tapes. It was a cool album. You know, we have the Megan Thee Stallion situation that he may or may not have shot. According to the court of law, he did shoot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. But separating the art from the artist, I don't care who you are, the fact that he was able to produce an album through a fucking prison phone is impressive.
That is, I didn't know that. That is impressive.
Wait,
he just released it about a couple of weeks ago.
Said, like, we're in prison, but we still got to make that money, bro. You know?
Yeah. He dropped an album. He dropped an album a couple weeks ago, and he produced he did it from jail. He did the whole thing over the prison phone, and his producer was able to put it together. Yep.
That's actually fucking insane, dude.
I thought you said a prison cone. I was like, what does that mean?
No, like a prison phone. So
yeah.
So go check out Prison Tapes. Even if you don't like the artist or you think he's a piece of shit, I think it's pretty interesting that from like almost like a technology standpoint that someone was able to produce a fucking album from a prison phone.
That's fucking hate when people don't separate the artist from the art. You get me? Like, I hate when people are like, yo, but this guy did this. You can't hear his shit anymore. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what he did. I like his fucking music. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, one of my favorite bands was Brand New, right? And fucking people give me so much shit for liking Brand New, bro. I'm like, bro, you listen to Brand New? And they're like, how can you listen to a fucking pedophile? I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even fucking know that he was a pedophile. Like, not even a pedophile. I think it's like a sexual offender or something. Like, like somebody that he tried raping a girl or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm like, I get it. Like, I don't fucking say that's okay. Fuck that. Like, that's horrible. You get me? Fuck him for trying to do that. But his music, there's
also other band members there.
Yeah, bro. Like, goddamn, they're like one of the best pop punk like fucking bands. Like, goddamn, let me enjoy my songs. But anyways, are you excited for the A$AP Rocky album that's coming out?
Bro, hell fucking yeah. You kidding me? I don't give a fuck what anybody says, like whether ASAP Rocky's like weird or washed or whatever.
How is it weird, bro? Now people got beef with ASAP Rocky too. God.
I mean, everybody, the rap scene. It depends who you talk to, right? If you talk to people that actually get pussy and like dress a certain way, everybody fucks with ASAP. If you talk to like the weirdos that are like heavy into the rap scene and they like glaze Drake and Kendrick all fucking day, ASAP's not even on their radar, and they like shit on him because like he doesn't produce enough music, whatever. But it's like, bro, like, if you're from New York, you understand why ASAP is so important to the culture, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, dude. ASAP is the shit. Fuck
Yeah,
what people
so
say. ASAP is the shit.
ASAP will forever be in my top 3 favorite artists just because of the fact that when New York was down and out and we had nobody representing us like that, like he put on for our city. So, and that goes back to that Fat City kind of fandom that I was talking about earlier. Like, I had started fucking with ASAP right before like the first album, back when what's his face? ASAP Yams had this Tumblr account, and I'm just calling it for what it is. Real nigga Tumblr. That was shout out ASAP Yams. That was his Tumblr account, and that's where all the cool shit was coming out of at the time. It was like 2000. I think like 2010, 2011, some shit like that. And ASAP had some really cool mixes on there, and I've been a fan ever since. And then when his first album came out, and I didn't like the song that went viral as much as I like some of the other shit on that first album, but it's been cool seeing his progression as an artist, as a personality, as a rapper, producer, director. He directs a lot of his own music videos and shit, which I really fuck with. So I'm excited for that album in a nutshell. Like, I think I took longer to say that shit than Otto did earlier. The fucking
4 hours you like the album, bro. Come on. No. Listen, man. It's been a great episode, guys. It's been a great episode. So any final takes from anyone before we close it out?
Yes. Florida State lost to Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland. Lol.
What?
In Dublin. That's crazy.
Florida State, number 10 in the U.S., lost to unranked Georgia Tech, and they played the game in Ireland. I don't know why they did that, but they did. And that's funny because last year they were complaining they should have got into the college football championship playoff thing. And now the people that didn't let them in are smiling down because they were right.
Wow.
Even a year later.
Wow. Funny to think people
suck
care
it, Florida State.
Football. But okay.
Hook 'em horns, baby. Let's go. The season starts next week. Cowboys start next week, and the coping continues because we will lose again.
All right. Well, listen, on that note, I'm going to end it right there, guys. Thank you so much to everyone that showed up today and hung out with us, man. This is another episode of The Catalyst Effect. We'll be back next week at the same damn time, all across social medias, on X, Twitch, YouTube. You can follow us anywhere, and we'll see you guys then. Peace.
Just hit level 71 and wow. Let's get it.
Number 7 in the world, Nyan Heroes.
That's actually badass. Number 7 still. All right, guys. Peace.
Lucky number 7.